MSNBC has a problem. You see, they have a host anchor problem. There's an effort underway to completely take total, utter control of the network away from the bosses, who I guess are rather impotent, and give it all to the anchors. You see, the anchors are now the inmates running the asylum there at MSNBC. I mean, we knew that they were kind of off their rocker to begin with, but you know what? These things don't happen overnight. These things happen when you've got, ladies and gentlemen, how shall we say, bad management? Yeah, that's bad management there at MSNBC, which is leading to all of this. So NBC News now apparently is in discussions with Ronna McDaniel to take her off the air because the anchors are so mad, so upset that they hired this woman because she had been or is seen as a Trump supporter. Now, let me just be very clear. I mean, the Republicans are like, bye-bye, don't let the door kick you on your way out, right? I mean, there's no love lost there. She was not seen as a success for the Republican Party. The RNC was really sort of persona non grata. We saw Vivek Ramaswamy call her out, actually on NBC's air, saying, hey, Ronna, during the debate, you want to just resign right now? You should resign right now. Anyway, despite all this chatter of how much the Republicans hate her, it turns out the Democrats hate her even more. And the hosts of MSNBC hate her even more than that. Word out just now that, in fact, she is losing her gig at NBC. I'll quote from, this one's from the New York Post. NBC News to drop ex-RNC chair Ronna McDaniel after Rachel Maddow, Morning Joe, revolt. NBC News plans to drop the former Republican National Committee boss, Ronna McDaniel, as a paid contributor after network stars. Can we really call them that? Including MSNBC primetime headliner Rachel Maddow, ultimate conspiracy theorist, and the hosts of Morning Joe, blasted the decision to bring the Trump-backing Politico on board. The network, according to the New York Post, has not made an announcement, but one is pending. Actually, forgive me, this is according to the original source is Puck News. Dylan Byers over at Puck News. He's a pretty good reporter. So we shall see. I know he's got some pretty vast sources. So again, they don't want to ruffle the feathers. The bosses are terrified. I mean, what are you going to do if Rachel walks out? What are you going to do if Mika and Joe walk out? What are you going to do if you lose Lawrence, Larry, O'Donnell? Heaven forbid, right? Any of these guys go. Or Chuck Todd, for goodness sakes. We've got to keep Chuck Todd happy, right? Listen to these anchors going off on Ronna. Poor Ronna. Like, I'm starting to feel for her. Not, but, you know, I mean, this isn't right. This is cancel culture on steroids. To be expected. You know, frankly, she really shouldn't have succumbed to going to NBC in the first place. I'm sure there were better homes for her elsewhere. Let's take a look.
I'll be joined by former RNC chair Ronna McDaniel in her first interview since stepping down as party chair. In full disclosure to our viewers, this interview was scheduled weeks before it was announced that McDaniel would become a paid NBC News contributor. This will be a news interview, and I was not involved in her hiring.
I think our bosses owe you an apology for putting you in this situation. And look, there's a reason why there's a lot of journalists at NBC News uncomfortable with this, because many of our professional dealings with the RNC over the last 6 years have been met with gaslighting, have been met with character assassination.
We weren't asked our opinion of the hiring, but if we were, we would have strongly objected to it.
NBC News, either wittingly or unwittingly, is teaching election deniers that what they can do stretches well beyond appearing on our air in interviews to peddle lies about the sanctity and integrity of our elections, but that they can do that as one of us, as badge-carrying employees of NBC News.
There is an easy way to avoid the controversy NBC News has stumbled into. Don't hire anyone close to the crimes.
She literally backed an illegal scheme to steal an election in the state of Michigan.
That is the type of experience that Ronna McDaniel brings to the table. And that experience does not get us to a deeper understanding of anything in the public debate.
I want to associate myself with all my colleagues, both at MSNBC and at NBC News, who have voiced loud and principled objections to our company putting on the payroll someone who hasn't just attacked us as journalists, but someone who is part of an ongoing project to get rid of our system of government.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that is just outrageous, you guys. Just outrageous. And, it's amazing because they think so highly of themselves. Oh, how could we possibly lend our name and credibility, as though you guys have any, at NBC News, to Ronna? Oh my goodness. How horrendous. How could we ever reward her? How could we ever say that anybody who's on the other side is ever worth talking to? You understand, again, no love lost here for Ronna, but that's unacceptable. I mean, these anchors are so full of themselves. Like the ability to contain and manage that situation, I kind of actually feel for the bosses there at NBC. It's gone. You can't. And perhaps that's one of the problems, actually, when you think about our country right now. When you have quote unquote journalists feeding conspiracy thoughts and narratives as those people did, and then simultaneously so unwilling to listen to anyone else or listen to the other side, and then throw in a hissy fit when someone suggests that maybe we should have somebody from the other side. I mean, that is really unacceptable, and it's really bad. And by the way, I haven't been following the intricacies of the NBC stock price and Comcast, but that would make me very uncomfortable as an investor right now, seeing that display, because it tells me you got no hold on the place whatsoever. That is bad management. Bad management on steroids. I mean, you think they get it bad at Fox, and believe me, they do. That's a hard place to manage, and they can't. I mean, hey, Smartmatic's coming their way, don't forget. I mean, they already paid nearly $1 billion thanks to Dominion. But NBC is clearly also in a very, very precarious spot with those anchors. I mean, I'm cracking up because who's the woman that used to work for Biden there? The peppermint patty girl. Forgive me. I'm getting cheeky right now. But anyway, Jen Psaki. I was looking for those words. Jen Psaki. Like, it's not just everyone that can do this, right? I worked as a press person for Joe Biden, which makes me super qualified. Not. None of those people, in my estimation, deserve to be on air. Rachel Maddow's kind of entertaining, albeit a conspiracy theorist. The others, I really don't know what to say. Anyway, apparently you have to be a never-Trumper to get a job there.